Design is a fundamental part of vehicle engineering. That's what they say. Apparently, some designers have a very different definition of fundamental. Let's be honest, folks. Some cars are just downright ugly. It's like someone looked at a toaster and said, hey, let's turn that into a mode of transportation. We're talking about vehicles that make Picasso look like a photographic masterpiece. So sit back and buckle up, because in today's video we have for you the top 10 ugliest cars ever made. You won't believe your eyes. 1932 Stout Scarab. The Stout Scarab, often dubbed the world's first minivan, might also be the first car to make you ask why. The Scarab's oddball shape comes courtesy of a rear-mounted Ford V8 and a wide body that lacked then de-rigger running board's notable innovations, but no excuse for the Scarab's ridiculous flattened face. The fact that it was named for an Egyptian dung beetle certainly didn't broaden the car's appeal, and it's no surprise to learn that only 9 were ever built. 1946 Crosley CC, Crosley's Mantra cars, proved surprisingly popular during the gas rationing of World War II, a testament to the lengths people will go to avoid walking. When peace finally graced us with its presence, Crosley unveiled the CC, a car so breathtakingly ugly that it makes one question the sanity of the entire automotive design industry. Its slab-sided, squashed appearance and comically small wheels make it look more like a child's toy than a mode of transportation. And let's not forget the engine, a marvel of engineering incompetence housed under a hood that resembles a discarded toilet seat cover. Thankfully, post-war prosperity meant most Americans could afford something less frugal and less hideous than the Crosley CC. 1951 Allard PD2 Safari. There are a few things in life we simply cannot wrap our heads around, and the PT2 Safari is one of them. Who thought it was a good idea to graft the front of a sports car onto the back of a woody wagon? British automaker Allard did, and the results are every bit as revolting as one might expect. Production estimates for this Ford-powered eyesore range between 10 and 13, some 5 of which are known to exist. We imagine the rest were destroyed by moms with torches and pitchforks. 1970 Marco's Mantis Me 70. If we had to nominate one vehicle as the ugliest car in the world, it would have to be the visual crime scene you see here. Few of Marcos Engineering's cars are particularly attractive, but the Mantis achieves a level of hideousness rarely seen on 4-wheel. Everything about this car is wrong, from the lumpy lines to the poor proportions to the disconcerting details. We can't even accuse the designers of being blind, because you can practically smell how ugly the Mantis is. Amazingly, Marcos managed to sell 32 of these monstrosities in a 2-year period. We're pretty sure the sales contracts include the phrase, "buy this car or we send the photos to the media." 1976 Aston Martin Lagonda. Modern-day Aston Martins are the stuff of dreams, so it's a bit hard to understand how the company ever came up with a nightmare like the Lagonda sedan, which looks for all the world like an 80s-era Chevrolet Caprice that went 4 rounds with a rolling pin and lost. The Lagonda did earn praise for its boxy and futuristic interior, probably because staying inside and playing with the myriad mix of electronic gadgets was the only way to avoid getting out and having to look at the awful styling again. If you've ever wondered why this publication has been restrained in its criticism of the Aston Martin Rapide, well, now you know. 1989 Alfa Romeo SO. When it comes to Italian cars, beautiful design is almost a given, so how the hell did this happen? With its flat planes, odd proportions, and a weird change in beltline angle fore and aft of the B-pillar, the Sprint Zagato looks like it was designed to be a Lego model rather than a real car. Even the wheels look like Lego parts. It's almost as if someone accidentally put the prototype into a compactor and threw the switch before realizing their mistake. And rather than fix it, they put the partially crushed Alpha into production. 1990 Chevrolet Lumina APV. The Dustbuster vans, probably the ugliest vehicles GM ever made until the Pontiac Aztek stole the title a decade later. Trying to make the minivan look futuristic and unique was an admirable goal, but it turns out that people bought boxy vans because they were, boxy, and sticking an anteater nose on the front didn't add to vans' practicality or the appeal. 1992 Ford Skylark. If you ask us, the last and final iteration of the Skylark has escaped the drubbing it so richly deserves as one of the worst-looking cars ever made. How does it offend the eyes? Let us count the waste meat and the pointless point on the front bumper and grille. Wedge-shaped parking lights that look like they had to be driven in with a rubber mallet, a too-short wheelbase that highlights the awkward proportions, thick body cladding with clashing two-tone paint. Pontiac should have held the monopoly on that lousy idea. And that ridiculous fender skirt look. You'll notice that you don't see many of these early 90s Skylarks around anymore. That's because Buick could barely give away a car this ugly. 1995 Oldsmobile Aurora. The Aurora was a last-ditch attempt to rejuvenate the Oldsmobile brand, and it was a technologically innovative car that was marred by heinous styling, with a body shape lifted from the horribly named Oldsmobile two-car concept of 1989. The Aurora looked as if it had been styled by erosion, with squinty headlights and a grille-free nose that gave it the appearance of a face with no mouth or chin. The Aurora looked more like an undressed mannequin than a technical tour de force, and despite rave reviews for its technology and road manners, the car failed to take off with the public. Once the Aurora failed, it was pretty much a straight shot to the grave for Oldsmobile, which folded in 2004. 1998, Fiat Multipla. The Multipla is one of the few award-winning cars on this list. Only the awards it has won are all of the ugliest car variety. There is so much wrong with this design that one can while away the hours finding new things to make fun of: a hood that looks like it's been sat upon, a pacer-like devotion to fishbowl glass, and an overall impression someone sawed two cars in half and stuck the top of one to the bottom of the other. The interior is no better. Of the gauges and controls are crammed on the center stack, giving the appearance of a Fisher-Price toddler activity board that's been attacked with a razor blade. The Multipla is so far out that even the French thought it was awful. It truly is one of the ugliest cars in the world. Alright everyone, that's a wrap for today. Hope you had as much fun watching this as we did making it. Can't wait to share more awesome stuff with you soon. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you're the first to know when our next adventure drops.